Sometimes that can happen. Okay, guys, it's possible. Sometimes we send, but it doesn't save. Maybe it's a bug. Okay, guys, so welcome to one more class. Today we're going to talk about our project, okay? And also we will make some comments about the test. And as you can see here, can you visualize our page here?
Yes.
Good, very nice. Our page in Google Classroom gives us some images about the topics of the units that we've just finished, okay? Units 4, 5, and 6. We talked about extremes in unit 4, and in that unit, we talked about food in many different ways, right? And so I showed you here, I posted some examples of um, extreme samples of food, right? Then unit 5 talked about creativity. So you have some illustrations here. And also unit 6 talked about places, especially places in the neighborhood. And I put here examples of bakeries, right? Which is like one of my favorite places in the neighborhood, the bakery. This is a bakery in Prague, Europe. Okay. So it's only for you to get inspired to think about your project. Okay. So before we talk about the test, hi Bia, good morning, welcome. Before
Good
we
morning,
start,
teacher.
yes, good to see you, Bia. The focus of our lesson today, of our class today, is to really give you some ideas on how to create a presentation, which topic to choose, okay? So I'm going to show you a presentation about each one of the lessons, okay? So let's go there. It's just an example, okay, guys? Of course, your presentation can be a video, can be just an audio, can be just a dialogue, can be a PowerPoint. You can choose whatever you want, okay? I'm just using a PowerPoint because it's easier for me to show you the summary of the topics we've seen, okay? So, okay, can you see the slide?
I can.
Okay. So unit 4, as you already know, talked about extremes, right? And I chose this illustration because it's an example of when a lot of people stay in line to watch a concert, for example. When people arrive early in the morning to watch a concert at night, for example. When they are big fans of a band, sometimes people sleep. They spend 1, 2, 3 nights in line just to get in the stadium or in the venue where the concert will take place. So that's an example of an extreme thing. Okay. For I guess the last time that group BTS came to Brazil, some people spent days outside Maracanã Stadium. I think, just to be the first ones to arrive and to be next to the stage. I don't know if you remember that. And other bands, when they come here, people line up early. They arrive days before the event, and they stay in line just to see their idols. That happens to BTS and also other K-pop groups, Justin Bieber and other idols. So these are examples of extremes. But in our lesson, we talked about many other things. We talked about food, and we'll see the language focus, okay, of Unit 4. So in Unit 4, the vocabulary first was about words to describe food. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So we used words to talk about food. Words like sweet, typical, frozen, perfect, cream, energy, sugar, cook, right? So that's why I put the images you saw on our page on Google Classroom. Examples of desserts. Okay, do you like desserts, people? Do you like sweet things?
Um. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Do you like ice cream?
Yes, I like it.
Okay, very nice. So,
Teacher, I got a question.
yes, go ahead.
É, nessas, por exemplo, nessa daí que a senhora tá falando, dos extreme, dentro dessa página tem umas explicações. Aí meu projeto pode ser com essas explicações, né? Tipo, não é, eu posso, tipo, tem os 4 capítulos, tem os 4 unidades que é projeto que eu posso fazer, mas eu posso fazer com o que tá dentro, né?
Yes, of course.
Tá.
You can choose one unit only, for example, unit 4, and you can talk about the content from unit 4.
Ah, ok.
Okay.
O meu foi esse também, o Unit 4.
Yes, and then you can give examples. You don't need to explain the unit, but you can give examples using the content from unit 4. Okay.
Ah, ok.
All right. You don't
Ok.
have to give a class. You don't have to explain the grammar. No, you don't have to give, you know what I mean? You don't have to give the
Yeah,
explanation, but you should give examples. You should give sentences. You should provide examples using the content from unit 4 if you choose unit 4. Okay.
ok.
All right. So in this unit, we also talked about extreme restaurants. Okay. We talked about prepositions of place, like, for example, beside, next, next to, sorry, in front of, on top of, under, behind, over. Okay. So these are examples of prepositions of place. So imagine in your presentation, you can give an example of an extreme restaurant, and you can say the location of the restaurant. You can say, oh, this restaurant is under the sea. Okay. So when you give the example, when you say the sentence, you are using the content from the lesson. Okay. When you say This restaurant is under the sea. Okay. Now,
Ok.
as for grammar, okay, in the grammar part of the lesson, we talked about how much and how many. We also talked about a few, a little, a lot of, and lots of. So in Unit 4, we talked about quantifiers, countable and uncountable. Remember,
Yes.
when to use how many, when to use how much, when to use a few, when to use a little. So in your presentation, if you decide to talk about Unit 4, you can give examples of something using sentences like um, um, how many cars are there in the city? How many cars are there in the city? And then you put a picture of a road full of cars, or a picture of a traffic jam, a lot of cars. You can also put a picture of someone. If you want to talk about food, you can put a picture of someone cooking, and then you can say, how many ingredients is she using to make the cake? You can put the question only. How many ingredients is she using to make the cake? If you just put the question and the image, it's okay, because you are using the content from the lesson, okay? And then if you put the answer, oh, she's using a little sugar, a few eggs, okay? You are showing that you know how to talk about things you can count and things you can't count. Perfect, okay? So if you put this image, a person making a cake, and if you put a question, and under the picture, for example, you put the answer, it's perfect. Oh, she's using a little sugar, a lot of chocolate, a few eggs, because eggs is countable, and let's say a lot of chocolate and all her love, for example. Perfect. This is an excellent example of how to use quantifiers. Okay. We also saw in this unit how to use quite, very, and really with adjectives. Okay, for example, oh, this is quite good. Or, this is very nice. Oh, this is really delicious. Okay, so it's nice, guys, to put examples in one or two sentences using these adverbs with one adjective, okay? And here, this is another point. There is and there are. We also discussed that in Unit 4, okay? Right. If you want, you can take a picture. Okay. Of course, guys, in your presentation, you should not show this. You should give examples, like I said, okay?
Okay.
This was the writing of Unit 4. If you need to write something like a composition, this is more for the test. The writing of this lesson was about a restaurant review, okay? Writing about a restaurant. And this is the real world listening. Oh, sorry, the real world English part. The video lesson of the unit. So if you want to base your presentation on the dialogue from the video was about ordering food and drink and complaining. Remember, the boys, they were at this snack bar and there's this lady, the servant, and she says, "Hello, what can I get for you today?" And they say, "I'll have," please. They choose something to eat. And then one of the boys, they go back to talk to her because his food is cold. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah, his mac and cheese is cold. So this is a dialogue. So, excuse me. So this is up to you.
Glad you.
Thank you. Oh, excuse me. So if you want, you can also role play a dialogue based on this, right? Ordering food and drink and complaining about something, okay? But now let's just practice a little bit using the quantifiers, okay? Just to remember quickly, okay? How much cheese do you eat? How can I answer this? Negative.
Much.
Okay. Not much. This is an example, okay, of a sentence that you can use in your presentation. Okay, you can put a picture, like I put here, of a sandwich, and you can put a sentence. Okay, guys, can you see that? Yes,
I
Leo.
can.
Okay, Via.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, question.
How much?
Okay, uncountable. Bread is something I can't count. So how much bread do you eat? A lot.
Teacher, but in Portuguese, I account bread, right?
Yes, in Portuguese, I can count. Bread is countable in Portuguese, but in English, no. Okay. Just one more detail, guys. Yes, David.
So if I was in a bakery, I should say I'd like some bread?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. And if you want to be exact, if you want to be precise, to say how much bread you want when you go to the bakery, you can say the number because you're buying. So you should say, I want 2 loaves of bread. Let me write that for you. Or I'd like, okay. So we use this unit here, okay? 2 loaves of bread, okay? We use the unit loaf, okay? Loaf means a unit of bread. Okay, so when, okay, because I can't count bread. So because of that, I need to use the word loaf. And if I want to buy two of that, I have to say 2 loaves. So I'd like 2 loaves of bread, please. Of course, here I have to use the word please. Never forget that. Okay. Or sometimes you can buy the baguette, because in English, we also use the word baguette. Baguette is countable. So I can say, oh, I'd like 2 baguettes, please. It's okay. A lot of French words, a lot of words in French were imported to English. So we can also use words like croissant, baguette, okay? We can use those. So I'd like 2 croissants, please. I'd like 2 baguettes. No problem, but I can't say I'd like 2 breads. That's impossible. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So can I clear this?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
All right. So the question here, if a doctor is asking you the amount of bread that you eat, suppose the question would be, how much bread do you eat? Okay, not how many. All right. The answer can be a lot. Okay. Because a lot I can use for countable and uncountable. Okay. And of course, people, in your presentation, you don't need to use this little bar that I put here. This is only here because this is an exercise. But in your presentation, you can put a normal sentence, okay? Okay. Now let's see number 3. The word is time. It's negative.
Any.
I can say that, yeah, I don't have any time, sorry. Or I can also say I don't have, if I have to choose between much or many, what should I use?
Much.
Yes.
Many.
Much or many?
Much.
Okay, much, because time is uncountable when I talk about time I have to do things, okay? The amount of time I have, so that is uncountable. So I can say, I don't have much time, sorry. Or if I don't have any time, 0, so I can use the word any, okay? Here, they decided to use much, right? And the last one, question, how much coffee do you drink? All right, so this is a nice example of a presentation. You have a question and you have a picture. You see, guys, it can be simple, just like this, okay? You put a question and you put a picture. And the question has examples from the lesson. All right.
Okay.
Number 5. Look, the question here is about books. books is countable.
Count.
Many.
Okay, very good. So how can we ask this question? Can you read, Leo, please?
Yes, of course. How many books do you read in a month?
Very good, thank you. Then the person said, a lot. Great, perfect. Question number 6. The word here is messages.
Many.
Countable. So David, can you read the question, please?
Yes. How many mangas did you send yesterday?
Messages.
Messages. Oh,
Okay. Messages. It's because it's abbreviated, right? So
pensei que era mangás.
no, messages. Yeah. How many messages did you send? Thank you, David. Okay, because this
You're
here
welcome.
is countable. All right. So how many? All right. So here we have 2 more examples. So how many books do you read in a month? How many messages did you send? Okay. All right, people. So you can put those questions, and you can put one question on a slide, and you can put an image. It's all right. Okay. Question number 7. Duda, can you complete that? The word is meat. Uncountable. Duda, are you there? Leo, go ahead. If Duda can't speak, help Duda. Go ahead, Leo.
Much?
Yes, very good. So can you say the question, please?
Yes, I do. How much meat do you eat?
Great. Thank you, Leo. So the person said none. Okay. Okay, no problem, Virginia. That's okay. Your connection is not working. Very good. No problem. Your microphone is dead. That's okay. So how much meat do you eat? None. Okay. So the person is vegetarian. And then the person says, I don't eat.
Much it.
If the person is vegetarian, what does the person say? I don't eat much meat, or I don't eat any meat.
Any?
Okay. Very good. Any is better. If the person is vegetarian, if the person says here, look, none, none means no meat. The person eats 0 meat. Okay? The person doesn't eat meat at all. And that means the person is vegetarian. In that case, here in number 8, you can say, I don't eat any meat. Okay? It's negative, right? Okay. Now, let's see number 9. Let's see that. The word here is homework. Okay? Homework is uncountable. So we have to put something that is opposite of a lot of. Opposite, okay? I get a lot of homework, but I do every night.
I do much.
So do you think I should put much in affirmative sentences? Because this is affirmative.
Oh, many.
Yes. Pay attention. This is not a question, okay? This is affirmative and this is uncountable, okay? So for uncountable nouns, when it's a question, I use much, right? How much homework? Remember, how much homework do you have? How much homework do you have? Example, it's a question. Not much. Not much. Negative. So for questions and negatives, I can use much, right? I can also say any for negatives when I have zero homework, right? For example, I don't have any homework today. I don't have any homework today. I can say that when I have nothing to do. Okay, so I can say in the negative, I don't have any homework today. But here, it's not a question and it's not negative. It's affirmative. So how can I complete affirmative sentences when the noun is uncountable?
Okay. Many?
Many is for countable. Like
I thought it was the first one.
I use many for countable nouns, for questions and negatives, right? Here, it's uncountable. So here it's affirmative, right? So you see, this is a nice sentence because it's affirmative. It's uncountable and it's affirmative. So I can say, I do a little every night. Okay, to say that I do a small amount every night. Why a little? Because it's uncountable. Okay, I can't say a few. A few is for countable. Here it's uncountable, so I do a little. But I can also say, but I do some every night. Okay, some or a little. Okay, guys. So I do some every night or I do a little every night. All right, people. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's see number 10. Here I'm talking about having a lot of books, but not enough time to read all the books. Time is uncountable.
So much?
So much time. So much time is, listen, this is affirmative. It's just
A
like
little?
here. Ah, okay. Be careful. Remember, we use much for questions and negatives. Okay. Affirmative. We can use some or little. Okay. Remember that questions 9 and 10 are affirmative. So for affirmative, if I'm talking about something uncountable, I can use some or little. Here, I can't use some because I have the word so. Okay, so I can't put so some like here, so sometime. It doesn't make sense. This is an expression. So many books, so little time. Okay, so it's a contrast of ideas. And I'm saying that I have so many books to read and so little time. Okay, many books because books is countable. I can count. Little time because time is uncountable. I can't count, and I'm saying that I don't have time enough to read all the books I have. Okay, so this is the idea I want to give. Little. Little I use for uncountable. Small amount, uncountable. Okay, all right. Like here, look. So many books, so little time. So people, if you haven't done yet, please take a picture. This is very important. Can we move on?
Yes.
Okay. Now here, guys, I got an example from the online practice, unit 4, okay? Let's take a look at the examples they gave here, using few, little, lots of. All the sentences are affirmative, okay? So let's take a look. In southern Mexico, I ate a few different kinds of insects. You see, a few. Why? Because different kinds of insects. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me, guys?
Kind
Yes.
of.
Yes? Yes, can you hear me?
Kind of.
Okay. So let me try to read again. In southern Mexico, I ate a few different kinds of insects. Crickets, worms, and ants. There were so many I didn't try. Okay, so here I have a negative sentence, but the first one, affirmative. Okay, and I'm using a few because different kinds of insects is countable. Okay.
Okay.
Now, number 2, if you add a little lime and chili. They taste pretty good. But don't add too much. This is negative, but this is affirmative. So a little lime and chili. This is lime is like a kind of lemon, okay, to spice, and chili is a kind of pepper, okay. So they are talking about the same topic, insects. Here I put the picture, okay, guys. So these are some insects that people usually eat in southern Mexico.
Teacher,
Yes.
the sentence is the first sentence. Can I put some
Some,
unless a few?
yes, of course.
Unless-
Yes, of course. I ate some different kinds of insects. Yes, of course. Okay.
Okay.
Totally. Okay. If you add a little lime and chili, they taste pretty good, but don't add too much. Okay. Here, they are using a few and a little because they want to say a small amount. Okay.
Okay.
Number 3, the dessert is very dry. Oh, sorry. The desert is very dry. They are not talking about the dessert, the food. They're talking about the desert, really. The desert is very dry. You need to drink lots of water, much more than usual. So here it's affirmative. And I want to talk about big amount. So big amount, affirmative. I can't use many or much in this case, much water. Much I can't use for affirmative. I have to use a lot of or lots of, okay? All right, so this is small amount, this is big amount. So you need to drink lots of water. Number 4, there are a few new restaurants I want to go to this weekend. One on Saturday and one on Sunday. So small amount, affirmative, and countable because new restaurants is plural. So this is something I can count. It's countable. So there are a few new restaurants I want to go to this weekend. One on Saturday and one on Sunday. So I can't say there are many new restaurants. If I want to say big amount, if I want to say the word many, this wouldn't make sense. Many new restaurants, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. That doesn't make sense, okay? All right, people, so here it's better to say there are a few. Okay, David, okay, Leo, all right, do the be,
Okay.
okay? And especially because many and much, we use more for questions and negatives, okay? Now, number 5, people try unusual foods for a little excitement. So excitement is uncountable. It's something you can't count. And I want to show here the idea of small amount. So small amount, uncountable, I have to use a little. So people try unusual foods for a little excitement. Okay, affirmative. Okay, guys. So these sentences are all affirmative. Okay, they are not questions, they are not negatives. That's why I'm not using here big amounts. I'm not using here much or many. I'm using small amount. Only here I'm using big amount. Lots of. Affirmative, big amount. You need to drink lots of water. Okay. But the other ones are small amount, small quantity, and affirmative. All right, people, so you can take a picture. Yes, David.
Professor, mas eu já vi já frases na afirmativa sem ser negativa que tem o much e o many.
It depends. It depends. You can see that. You can see that. But according to the rule, according to grammar, we usually use much and many for questions and negatives, right? The quantifiers, but it's flexible, okay?
Okay.
But you can see that, right? But for our training, for our lesson, try to separate now. After, when you watch movies, when you listen to music, you can see some variations, right? You can see some examples of many in affirmative sentences, but for now, try to separate, okay? So you can have a better training.
Teacher,
Yes, Bia.
sorry, eu vou precisar.
Sorry, I can't understand. Can you say again, please?
Eu vou precisar sair mais cedo hoje da aula, teacher. Eu tô resolvendo umas coisas aqui em casa e tá uma correria danada.
Oh, Bia, let me just take the picture here before you go. Just a second.
Ok.
Let me just print the screen. Okay, I printed. Let me save the picture. Just a second, Bia.
Ok.
We've just seen so far Unit 4, okay? And here
Okay.
we have some examples, okay? Let me just minimize here. I'm just minimizing, just a second, okay, guys? I will save the picture just took. Just a moment.
Aí depois eu vejo pelo
Yes,
pelo
you
YouTube,
watch,
teacher.
yes, you watch the rest of the video. So
Yeah.
you can have the ideas to prepare your project for next
Okay.
class. Okay,
Okay.
Biazinha?
Yeah.
Thank you, baby. Have a nice weekend. Okay.
Thank you, teacher. Have a nice weekend.
You
Bye.
too. Bye. Take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Bye.
Bye, Bia. Take care. So let me just save here, because we have to see Unit 5 and Unit 6. They're very important as well. Let me just save this picture here. All right, guys. Yes, Dudinha, I will send you the link again, okay, after class. I will talk to you by the end, okay? Don't worry. All right, let me just open it up again. Okay, people, can you see the slide full screen?
Yes.
Good. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So Unit 5, that was the end of Unit 4. So in Unit 5, we talked about creativity. So if you decide to present a project about Unit 5, you should talk about creativity. Here, there is a quote by Steve Jobs. He was very creative, and it says, creativity is just connecting things. When you ask creative people how they did something, they feel a little guilty because they didn't really do it. They just saw something. It seemed obvious to them after a while. That's because they were able to connect experiences they've had and synthesize new things. So it's really difficult to explain creativity. It just happens, right? And this is how he explained here. It really happens. It's natural. Okay. So let's take a look at the content of Unit 5. So the vocabulary of the unit, it talks about, right in the beginning, creative hobbies. Remember, right in the beginning of the unit, we talked about some hobbies. And then after that, we talked about cause and effect linking words, how to link some sentences using words like as, because of, and so. And after that, we talked about learning new things, new skills. We saw those courses. Remember? Yes, exactly. People who wanted to learn about fashion, cake decoration. So the language focus of this lesson was about the present continuous. We also saw verbs plus to infinitive. Example, want, like, would like, need, plan, and decide. So we use sentences like, oh, I want to learn how to design websites, or I want to study another language, or I would like to learn how to skateboard. Okay, so after verbs like these, I should use infinitive. We also saw the contrast between simple present and present continuous. Okay. So of course, if you decide to talk about Unit 5, you should give examples of these topics. Okay. So this is the writing thing of the lesson, using appropriate register, formal, informal. We talked about writing emails, and the real world English, the video lesson was about asking for and
Glad you.
thank you. Excuse me. Asking for and giving opinions. So we had a dialogue about asking for someone's opinion. Oh, what do you think about? Okay. In this lesson, guys, we saw some common contractions in English. So this is only for you to remember how to contract some auxiliary verbs. Okay. So here you have, we can contract the verb to be in the negative, can in the negative, can't, cannot. I am can be I'm. That is can become that's. There is can become there's. We are can become we're. What is can become what's. You will can becomes you'll, and so on. Okay. So here we have a reference. Here we have some verbs followed by an infinitive. So verbs that we use infinitive after them. So for example, choose to study, or prefer to study, plan to study, for example. Okay, want to study, like the verbs we saw on the previous slide. Okay, agree to study. Here we have functional language about giving opinions. This is about, no, this is about giving an opinion, okay? So asking for and giving opinion. So this is some extra sentences for you, okay? So these are some examples for you. So like, oh, I honestly think, I strongly believe, okay, to my mind. So you can just take a picture if you wish to have examples of asking for and giving opinion. Okay. Like here, oh, what do you think? Or do you agree? Or what are your thoughts on that? Or, okay. This is all in your Unit 5 English for Real. This is the video lesson. Okay. Here, guys, this is what I want to focus on, okay? This is the present continuous focus of the lesson. We have a text here, and I got this from the online practice, okay? So we have, what are you doing? Can you explain it to us? So they are working on something. This lesson is that part they talk about DIY. Do you remember this when they talk about do it yourself?
Yes, I remember.
Yes, in this lesson, we learned the meaning of this acronym, which is do it yourself. Okay, do it yourself means when you watch a video or when you buy a magazine, you follow the instructions and then you do it on your own. You learn how to do it and then you do it, okay? So this is DIY. So here, one person is asking two other people doing something, what they are doing. So they say, oh, what are you doing? Can you explain it to us? And then he says, I'd be happy to. I am using cinnamon sticks to make a candle holder. Right now, my assistant Ken is tying string around the candle. you can see he's leaving enough space to put cinnamon sticks between the candle and the string. So he's explaining. As you can see, the parts in green are the examples of present continuous, okay? So I will highlight that for you here, okay? So in this unit, unit 5, one of the focuses was the present continuous. So if you want to present something about this unit, it's interesting to use examples in the present continuous, okay? Oh, look, what is he doing? Oh, he is cooking something, or he is drawing, he's, okay? So he is tying string around the candle. You can see he is leaving enough space to put cinnamon sticks. Do you know the meaning of cinnamon, guys?
I don't know.
No? Let me show
No.
you. Let me clear my drawings so you can see. I will show you what cinnamon and candle holder is. I put a picture here on the next slide. Look, this is what they are doing. This is cinnamon stick, okay? Can you see that? We use cinnamon in cooking, right? In some dishes, we add cinnamon sticks. Okay. And this, they are using cinnamon sticks to create a candle. This is a candle. So they are making candle holders. So this is to hold candles, okay? So they put the candle in the middle, and then it's a decorating piece. So they tie, look, they tie the candle holder together, and then they can put the candle inside. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the scent that comes when you light the candle is very peculiar, because you can feel the smell of cinnamon in the air, okay? So this is what they are trying to make on the previous slide, in the explanation. So they are creating candle holders using cinnamon sticks, okay? So this is it. Look, he's saying, what are you doing? So can you explain? He says, oh, I'd be happy to. I'm using cinnamon sticks to make a candle holder. Right now, my assistant Ken is tying string around the candle. You can see he is leaving enough space to put cinnamon sticks between the candle and the string. Now we are putting the cinnamon sticks around the candle, okay? It looks nice with different lengths. Okay, so we are using some short and some long cinnamon sticks. Finally, now I'm lighting the candle. In a few minutes, you will start to really smell the cinnamon. Okay. So this is very nice, okay? And all the explanation of what he is doing is in the present continuous. Okay, guys. Here you have it. Did you take a picture of the text? Yes?
I didn't.
Okay, there you go. Can you see the picture?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. All right, people. So now let's see the last part. This part is about verbs with infinitive. So if you decide to talk about Unit 5, I know our time is up. You should give examples of sentences using the verbs with infinitive. So here we have some examples. This is a person talking about a book for children, okay? So this is a
Okay.
children's book. The name of the book is The Feelings Book, okay? By Todd Parr. So here the person said, my niece really likes to read the children's books you write and look at the art you design. I do too. She and I wanted to meet you at the craft fair, but we needed to get home. We both love to write and draw. She plans to be a writer and artist like you. And I decided to write my first children's book last year. I am almost finished and I would like to talk to you. Would you like to meet sometime so I can take you to lunch? So as you noticed, all the verbs here are followed by infinitive, okay? Likes to read, wanted to meet. You see, it doesn't matter the time of the verb, the tense. After them, you have infinitive, okay? Needed to get, plans to be, decided to write, would like to talk, would you like to meet? All right? So, and then finally, guys, I just ask you one more minute for us to see quickly Unit 6. Unit 6 talks about places, especially places in the neighborhood, okay? So the first one, I will not read, okay? But you can take a picture if you want. Gives examples of places in the neighborhood. Okay, so here we have department store, stores, mall, and market. This exercise is on the platform. You have access to that. I just got here a small part, okay, from the platform. That is an example for you to practice. You can read to exercise to practice, okay? You can read out loud. Reading out loud is a good way to practice, okay? Another topic from Unit 6, guys, is have to, don't have to, okay? We also talked about that. Here we have affirmative and negative, okay? So like here, for example, she doesn't have to add sugar or milk because it comes with sweet milk. You have to pay, it is not free. So Unit 6 is about have to do things you don't have to do. Oh, I have to go to the post office. I don't have to go there today, okay? You don't have to eat beef soup. When do you have to work? Oh, we don't have to work on Saturday. Does he have to work? So if you want to talk about Unit 6, it's nice to give an example about using have to, don't have to, okay? Here we have another topic from Unit 6, using should or shouldn't, okay? So this is also a nice idea to take a picture. Asking about what you should do on your next vacation, because Unit 6 talks about traveling. Remember, where you should go, what you should see. So I got some examples of phrases, questions that you should practice for your presentation, okay? You can put some questions like, oh, should we go to London or to Madrid? Where should I go? What should I do there? Okay, so this is something that Unit 6 gives us as a focus, something really important. Giving suggestions of places to go, okay? So take a picture, this is very important. And here, I will post the link. There is a video, I can't show you now because we don't have time, but just to finish the presentation, I posted here a video about places in the neighborhood. But since we don't have time, I will send the link. I will post on our page, okay, on Google Classroom. Here there is a video for you to watch. Okay, guys. So thank you very much. All right. I hope to see you again next week on Tuesday. Oh, thank you, Dudinha. I will send, oh, bye-bye, guys. I will send you the link. All right, guys. I will send you the link, Duda. Don't worry. After class, I will send you the link again. I will talk to you. All right, don't worry. Guys, have a nice weekend. Prepare your presentation. It can be something simple. The most important is that if you choose one unit, get examples from that unit. This is the most important thing. All right?
Okay.
If you need any help, send me a message. All right? Thank you so much, guys. I love you. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, David.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Dudinha. Thank you, David. See you.